What's up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and the video you've all been waiting for. A permanent fix to the PlayStation drift issue that we are all experiencing, or those who have a PlayStation 5 and are using the PS5 controller. So in this box here is the magic components. You've seen in my last video where I fixed drift on my two controllers, and just to give you a quick update, this was the controller that was sent to Sony itself. It's the controller that came with the console. It got drift. I was able to send it through to Sony, who repaired it, and it is still going strong, so that's all good. There's no drift on that one. And this was the one I repaired, and I two-toned it because if you remember, I destroyed one of my controllers by absolutely melting the board, and and even went through to the joysticks, and yeah, using a heat gun. So I'm not going to be using a heat gun on this occasion again, but yeah, this one is still going strong as well. So no changes since we did the update. Now in these controllers, there's two types of analog sticks in there, potentiometers, analog sticks. The orange one went into the red controller, and Sony, as far as I can tell, when they've replaced it, they did replace it with the similar green type. Put this through its paces way more times than I did initially when it got drift, and also used this way more times than this initially got drift. So something in the stock analog sticks that were in the stock versions just no good. So clearly the replacement orange one is still holding up, and the replacement green one that Sony did is still holding up. So no complaints there. Now if you remember this controller, but it was out of calibration, and you can't recalibrate these sticks. So just be mindful if you are going to change your sticks. Sometimes the stick itself isn't calibrated, so you can't adjust it. Well, that is all going to become an end because we do not need these ones anymore. And also, just before I begin and open up the magic box to show you what is in here, I am going to do this first, because from the same place I got these, I also got a replacement. Replacement shell, which is gold, and I'm going to put it on this controller so that I know not to mix it up with two controllers that I have bought from eBay or Facebook. I can't remember where now because I've had them a while, that should have drift on them, which is what we're going to apply these analog sticks over to fix the issue. And if they do fix the issue, I am going to put these in there, because these in here are Hall effect analog sticks, and we'll show you that in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to swap this over so I don't get this controller mixed up. And all you do, guys, and you want to use plastic when you want to take things off of plastic, you always use plastic to take things off of plastic. Anything else and you'll ruin the plastic. So really simple, you just want to pop that in there, pop that one in there, the bottoms come off, and then gently pry away each of the clips, and just like that, that one comes off and the new one will go on. And I went for gold. Let me know your comments, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? You do have to put the two sticks in first and then just click it all back into place. There you go. What do you think? Cream and gold? That looks quite nice actually. Beautiful. Alright, so we won't be mixing up the Sony repaired one, which there is nothing wrong with it, and my one, which is obvious because it's red and white, the Pokemon theme. I was going for Spider-Man, but I've decided it actually looks more like Pokemon, right? But anyway, so those are those. Now I'm going to show you the Hall effect analog sticks, which should be in here. And AliExpress is where I got this and the case from. They are popping up on eBay now, so you might be able to get one. But if these work, guys, I'm going to give a pair away to one of you subscribers if you just comment on the video, and obviously subscribe, get someone else subscribed, like, similar to what I do with the laptop giveaway. By the way, that video is going to come after this one. I just thought I'd take a break from the laptops and also give that video is getting a lot of comments, so I'm just going to let it run its course with more comments to give a wider pool for someone to win it. But that video will come after this one, so don't worry about that. But yeah, let's open this up. I'm super excited if these are Hall effect analog sticks for the PS5. There's quite a few in here. You get 10, I believe, for the price I paid. I think I paid something like 10 bucks for all of these, and I think this case was 3 bucks. Check those out, guys. Can you see those? So they have a different casing on there. They all feel good. Alright, so let's just compare the magnetic one, which is this one here, the orange one, to the original analog sticks, and you can see that there's a casing over this. So inside here should be a magnet now that's being used, but in here was just a strip, a very thin strip that can get worn away as you turn and use your stick. You can see that turning there, right? And then inside it actually looks quite a bit beefier. I see the plastic's thicker there, but everything else kind of matches. Just I don't know what's behind there. It would be good to possibly take that off and just double check that it is magnetic, but from the looks of it, I think it looks, well, there's definitely something different going on underneath that, right? And then if you compare it with the orange one was better made than the green one, or that's what I've read anyway. Both of the analog original sticks that I was using cannot be calibrated, whereas this one, there's little holes here. You see the little holes? I understand that these little holes you can calibrate the analog stick. So if it does come if it is slightly like my original fix here, this stick is slightly to the right and up, and I'll show you all this on the computer in a minute. I will put my controllers in just to show you that these are still fine, and then I'll put these on to test how bad they are and which ones are which stick has drift, or maybe both sticks have drift, or one or the other. And so yeah, but I will be changing it out anyway, because if it does work, I do need to do my red one. Now, following my last video where I had an absolute catastrophe, not the last video, I mean obviously the last video I managed to fix it, but I had a catastrophe using the heat gun, and you can see the damage done with that. It was easier to get the item out, but obviously I met with everything on the board. All the plastic connections, all the thumb sticks, analog stick got melted too, all of this part, everything's melted on this board, and it's because I use tin foil rather than heat shield, I believe. So it is easier, but I don't recommend. What I have got though, which is different to what I in my previous, this thing here is called a desoldering pump. I don't know if you see that. I got it for 10 bucks off Amazon. So we'll just open it up. So it's a soldering iron, but not a soldering iron. So it's a soldering iron with a pump. So hopefully once this tip gets hot enough and I put it onto the soldering point and I suck up the solder with this melting it at the same time, be able to clear up all the solder. And I've also got this thing here, again from AliExpress actually, in the same order. This is supposed to be low melt solder, so that when I mix the low melt solder with the solder that they used on here, which is very high heat tolerance solder, so what the plan is, and it worked on the other one, is mix this low melt solder with this solder, and then this pump should be able to heat that, because I don't think this gets hot as my actual soldering iron, which can go up to 450 C's I think, or 450 F's, I can't remember, Fahrenheit or Celsius. But this, I don't, how hot does this get? 50 hertz, 40 watts. Yeah, so 40 watts is not going to cut it, man. But hopefully once you use the less melt solder with it, mixed with it, it might be enough. And I have no idea what that is. Oh, that's a stand, right? So that's a stand for it. That's a bit lame, isn't it? But anyway, there we go, guys. So those are the tools. Right, guys, so pretty much tidied up. So all the things we're going to need are obviously your drift controller. That's broken. First of all, we're going to go on the computer now and just check how bad the drift is on these. Alright, so now that we've finished that, this is a bad controller, both sticks, and I marked it here, left and right. Left is pretty much worse than the right, but they're both bad, so that's the one we're going to work on. I'm going to work on that first because I just want to test to see if these actually do work, and if they are what they say they are, then I will change. This left stick on my one is bad now, and I believe that's the one I didn't change, or maybe I did change. I can't remember now if it's this one. I thought it was this one that I changed, but we'll open it up and have a look. This one is okay, perfect, although this one is juttering a bit, but you can't feel that in game, or I can't. So this one's perfect for me. That's the one Sony fixed at the moment, and this one was meant to be drift. I bought it, was meant to have drift, but it's fine, absolutely fine. Okay, so this is the one we're going to work on. These are going to go into my collection, and what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to time to see how long it will take me to change one of these out. So yeah, let's start this. I'm just going to plug everything in that I'm going to need. So for the soldering iron, I'm going to put it up to 400 for starters, and maybe I think I had to go to 450, which was the last setting on there. So it might be between 400 and 450 to melt the solder in here. Alright, let's start taking this. Let me move all this stuff out of the way, and we'll start taking it apart. Alright, so I brought you a bit closer to the action. Let me know if you want to be closer to the action, or do you want to see everything that I'm doing around the table as well. So I've got my low melt solder ready. Yeah, these are all the things you need. And let's get into it, man. Let's see if these, so before you go out to AliExpress and start buying these, let me do this first and see if it works, right? So just as before, click the two bottom parts. Now there's two little clips right at near the port for the headset, so just click those out. That should make it easier to remove, and then just pull the two little tabs away from the controller so you don't snap these, and when you're putting it back, make sure they go in first, and then down you go. Alright, then that's going to expose two screws at the bottom, two tiny screws, so take those off. So the two screws at the bottom come off, and then you need to pop off left and right triggers, and this is the fun part. You can either dig your clip in and just pop it off, L1 and R1, and that's going to expose two screws at the top. And now you should be able to prise this apart once you take out the 4 screws, and just unclip these two at the bottom first, very gently, because these tend to break. I think they have broke on me. Just be wary of those clips there. Oh, I always hate taking it apart because the crunching noises. feel like you're going to break the clips, yeah, but try not to break those two clips at the bottom, because they're the ones that I think I broke them on my last one, but they're the ones that you're in danger of breaking. Oh, it looks like someone's already melted. Someone's already had a go at this. Yeah, someone's already tried to desolder. Interesting. That definitely looks like it's been worked on, right? But yeah, look, someone burnt. That's the mistake I did before as well. Someone burnt this bit with their soldering iron. Anyway, take the battery off now. Next, like so. Then you'll be faced with another screw in the center. And be careful with the clip there. So I wish I had some plastic pliers, because I don't like how aggressive the teeth are on these. Actually, I don't want to use that. And you can remove the battery holder, and yeah, definitely someone tried to remove it, or they tried to just do the 3 at the bottom. They burnt this part here, tried to remove the 3 here. Haven't touched, I don't think they've touched around there though, so that's interesting. But yeah, once you remove that, you've got another clip here you can undo or pull out. Another clip here you undo and pull out. I think I'm going to, and then another one down the bottom. Then you've got access, so you've got a ribbon at the top, 2 ribbons at the bottom, ribbon either side. Then you've got access to it. But to make my job easier, I am going to desolder the rumble packs. Should be easy enough. Yeah, someone's definitely, this is new solder. Alright guys, so first of all let me see if I can melt any of this solder. Yes I can. I can melt those bottom 3 very easily, so someone's definitely tried to change that. Okay, now for my first trick, all of these solder points I am going to put low melt solder onto them, so that it makes it easier for me to melt the solder. Okay, so now hopefully this thing will suck the solder up. Okay, alright. I think it's gonna work, guys. Oh, it's hot. Alright guys, there you have it. I think it's taken me under 10 minutes to get that off. Yeah, there was one little leg stuck, but it came off eventually. But yeah, pretty clean. This tool is working pretty good. The method of putting the low solder on top of this solder and then removing it with this is actually working pretty good. Fantastic. 10 minutes. Let's do the other side. And I'm not going to film that bit, so I'm just going to do it. Or do you want to see it? I don't know. That one just came right out. Lovely. I like it. And that's the condition of the holes. So not bad. Alright, now time to put in our super duper Hall effect sticks. For this one I'm going to use a bit of a different solder line, And done guys. I can see 20 minutes that has taken me. All I've got to do now is clean it up with IPA and a brush and put it back together. But yes, the new Hall effect pads are on. What do you think? Let's put it back together, give it a clean, put it back together and test it out. And hopefully I can recommend these to you guys. Alright guys, I just made a cup of tea while I waited for that to dry off. That should be dry now. And yeah, let's reassemble. So this goes back in how we before. Get all the ribbon cables back in out the way while you're putting this back down. Also rumble wires. Now there's something I missed, I think. Oh no, I put it in. So it's that. Put the top one back in. I think that's for the touchpad. Side one's back in for each trigger. Alright, I'm not going to close it back up just yet because we want to test it first and see if it all works. What do you think guys? Is it going to work? Is it going to be an improvement? Will we have to make some adjustment? I do not know. But I do need a screwdriver. I think that's good enough. I'm not going to connect the rumble packs just yet in case we take it back apart. But I think other than the battery, should be able to test it like so. So let's go back over to the computer, plug this in and give it a test. Feel looser, but hey, well, let's see what it does. Alright guys, back on the gamepad tester, and the right stick is not calibrated. As you can see, it's a bit off, so I'm just going to try and calibrate that now. Alright, there you can see it. I've got them both pretty centered. That jiggling, don't worry about that. I think the PlayStation filters that out. Now let's quickly check the dead zones. And to do that, just click this button and it'll switch it here, and then wiggle your joysticks around. And as you can see, the dead zones are not great on these Hall effect joysticks.
check the left one. Yeah, not super great. So if anyone knows if that's any good, hit me up in the comments, let me know if these are any good. And yeah, that's it guys, that's the Hall effect centered and tested. Now let's go and test them on a game. Alright guys, so just going to show you what was going on there. So this was plugged into the computer, just the board and the battery was attached. I think you need the battery. And then I used very thin pliers to put this inside of the hole. And I'm not going to do it now, but as you put that in a hole, you're stopping movement inside of here, and then you've got to just move this while you're holding it to the direction you want to try and adjust to. So you hold it down with this, then do the movement, and it's the opposite movement to what you want on the screen. And you've just got a little touch until you can keep moving it. So hold down, move until we get it in the middle. Yeah, and that's it. Right, let's put it back together and let's test it out on a game, because that will be the ultimate test. So far so good. I've got high hopes guys, so let's put it all back together. And done guys, that's it. It's all been put back together. So this one has the red back. It has the Hall effect things in here. Oh wait, we forgot to put the buttons back on, so they just pop back on as well. So all in all, the time now is 1:36. I believe I started around 10:30, 11ish. So I reckon it's taken me about 2 hours. Plus I've been doing the filming, made a cup of tea and doing all the testing. So if I had just taken this apart to take these off and put the Hall effect ones on, and I reckon I could do it quicker, maybe under an hour. But last thing to do guys, moment of truth, is plug it into the PlayStation and see if it works. Alright guys, I have the controller into the PlayStation and we're going to just check it out. So this is the Hall effect one with the red backing, and yes, everything is working fine, no drift. Hall effect, so I can vouch for the Hall effect replacement analog stick. Definitely can be done. I don't know how long they're going to last, but everything seems fine. I will play with it. I'll give you an update later in another video. And just to double check the other ones, here's the Sony PlayStation fixed one. Everything's still working fine, no drift. So good job Sony on your repair. Here's the other one I brought. Again, no drift. There's nothing wrong with this one. But I did buy it with the message that it had drift, so no idea, but that one seems fine to me. So the controller I've repaired has got drift. Watch this. You see the character moving? I'm not touching the joystick. That is this side here. That's now gone, because this game uses a different... Oh look, it's not doing it now. But oh, there you go. So that is drift. There you go, you're witnessing drift right there. And I'm going to replace that now with a Hall effect. Alright guys, I'm not going to bore you with having to show you again how I'm going to replace the Hall effect sticks in here. I definitely recommend this tool here, which heats up, has a sucker on it. That definitely cleared the holes and made the whole process quicker for me. So that definitely worked if you don't want to spend big money on super duper tools. Obviously this was about a tenner off Amazon. If you want to try it yourself, I will give away a pair of Hall effect analog sticks for the PS5 controller. All you got to do is subscribe, comment on the video, like, get someone else subscribe, all those. I will pick the winner, not the next video. The next video is going to be about the laptops again, where we're picking the winners for the laptop. And then so somewhere around Christmas or after Christmas, I will announce the winner for a pair of these. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you've got any questions, hit me up in the comments or just talk amongst yourselves. And don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and the comments I will use to pick the winner. So you've got to leave a comment. Doesn't matter what comment you leave, just leave a comment. Appreciate you. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I appreciate you too, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.